The trilogy is here. After seeing Hadi Choopan at the Arnold Classic 2024 vs Phil Heath 2013 in the first episode and then the same battle, but with Hadi having Nick Walker's arms as a sequel, in this episode we're going to see the same hybrid of Hadi Choopan and Nick Walker going against, this time, wide Phil Heath. Wide Phil Heath means Phil Heath if he had wider clavicles, arguably his only major weakness in his prime. A like and sub means you guys appreciate the effort regardless of the outcome of the comparison. Front double biceps. If we're talking Hadi versus Phil, this is debatable, as Hadi has the better overall flow and Phil has the way better arms. If we're talking Hadi with Nick's arms, I believe the hybrid wins, regardless of whether you think Nick has better arms than Phil or not. The gap is very close with the arms, and the overall flow still goes to Hadi big time. If we factor in wide Phil Heath, while Phil looks improved, I don't think this is enough. Phil's issue in this pose was not the narrowness, but rather the inferior ab aesthetics that he has against Hadi, so I would still go with the Hadi-Nick hybrid in this pose. Front lat spread. Phil's only issue was his narrowness, because aside from that, he's arguably better than Hadi in every aspect, even better than the hybrid. So when wide Phil Heath enters the arena, there's only one possible outcome to this pose, wide Phil Heath winning. Wide Phil Heath really proves how strong Phil was in the front lat spread, aside from the overall width. Side chest. This is not a pose where shoulder width is noticeable. The hybrid looks good, but Phil Heath takes this pose overall. Back double biceps. This is a pose that the hybrid loses, regardless of Phil's shoulder width. Now I could have edited this pose for Phil, but it would have been pointless, especially since he looks wide enough. By choosing this execution, the score is 3-1 for wide Phil Heath, which is pretty dominant so far. Back lat spread. There is a different story. Even though I believe that even narrow Phil Heath defeats the hybrid in this pose, I couldn't let you guys in the air without showing you the power of wide Phil Heath in this pose. Boom! Say what you want about Phil Heath. I don't care if you're a Colemanite or a Dorianite, this right here is by far the best back lat spread pose of all time, period. The score becomes 4-1 for wide Phil Heath. Side triceps, this remains the same, as it is again a side pose. I consider Phil Heath the best ever in the side triceps, but the Hadi-Nick hybrid has the upper hand in this pose against him. In my opinion, Phil may still have the better arm, but Hadi has the better overall flow. The arm and triceps gap is minimal, so overall this pose goes to the hybrid. The score is 4-2 for wide Phil Heath. Abs and thighs. This is a pose that Hadi Choopan, without the need for Nick Walker's arms, beats any version of Phil Heath ever, but just for fun, boom, this is wide Phil Heath in this pose, which is indeed an improvement, however, not enough to win against Hadi. A superior taper for Phil is handy, but the ab shape and definition is what makes him lose against Hadi here. The score is 4-3 for wide Phil Heath. Most muscular, Hadi by himself couldn't defeat Phil in this pose despite his incredible core. Hadi with Nick Walker's guns was enough, in my opinion, to defeat Phil Heath. Many of you commented in our last video that Phil still won, which I can see, but I still believe the hybrid would have the nod overall. But when wide Phil Heath enters the stage, that slight gap turns in his favor now. Phil already has arguably the best, most muscular pose of all time, his only criticism being his shoulder narrowness. But when we deal with this in Photoshop and create wide Phil Heath, there are no more arguments to be made. Wide Phil Heath wins this pose and wins the comparison overall. So in the first episode, prime Phil Heath defeated Hadi Choopan. In the second episode, the Hadi Choopan Nick Walker arms hybrid defeated prime Phil Heath. And in this last episode, wide clavicle, Phil Heath defeated the hybrid and won this epic trilogy matchup.